Well, you know, like this, the City Tuesdays is something that has started this year.
Yeah.
City and the Mets have been partners since the new stadium. Come on, it can't be much more of a partner. And as a corporation, they want all the people in the bank, they want everybody to be happy. So they're trying to incorporate some programs that give people a break at the ballpark on tickets if they buy them a certain way.
Right.
And it's, you know, the alumni do work in hospitals and special homes for kids, and, you know, they go to veterans' homes, they do stuff with injured soldiers, the wounded warrior stuff. And, you know, the club is very conscious of what's happening in the community, and that's why the alumni come in and then they do this work.
And so how do you feel about being one of those representative arms of the Mets?
Well, that's great. Truth.
Yes. And, you know, Russ, you had such a long association with the Mets and played with them in you know, really two different areas in the 70s and the, you know, and the 80s. Looking back on this, you know, 50th anniversary of the Mets organization, what kind of stands out to you in the development of the organization, being that, you know, you broke in almost at the same time that the Mets had started?
Well, you know, the thing is the past, and everybody can debate many issues on whatever side of what team they like. But, you know, the current team has, you know, just really, they have played so well the first half of the season. To be where they were, it was incredible. If you would read the reports in spring training, what everybody was saying about the Mets, it was a crime. You know, they hadn't played a game and they buried them already. Now, the start of the second half, with some injuries and the bullpen having some injuries too, you know, they haven't been able to keep those games. They should have won a bunch of ball games and they lost them. That's tough. You just, this game is not easy.
Yes.
So the only people that are going to win those games and turn this around are the people on that field, and they just have to get above whatever all this mental harassment they're getting right now, and they got to win one game.
Right.
And then they worry about the next day. You get a little caught up in all the ballyhoo of having lost a lot of games in a row, because it is 10 out of 11. You have to refocus and not try to do too much. I kid around a lot and say you can't hit an 8-run home run, but you can get that runner from second to third with nobody out. And you can, you know, hit the cutoff man, and you can run hard to first. They got to do the little things right.
Yep. Rusty, can you relate to at all to kind of what Ichiro is, I guess, going to about to encounter here with the Yankees? You know, coming off really, you know, been a starting player, then asked to change his role. Can you relate to that in the sense of, you know, you having to change your role coming back to the Mets?
Ichiro is a fine player. I don't know what the Yankees have planned for Ichiro. I don't think you do either. But he's a guy who will probably get a lot of at-bats, and he's a very good defensive player. I imagine he's going to, no matter what anybody thinks, he didn't come here not to play.
Right. But how did you make that adjustment towards the latter end of your career?
It was not easy.
Yes.
Believe me, it's the most difficult thing in the world, come off the bench, especially in the circumstances where when I was playing, I felt I should be on the field more so than some of the people that were out there.
Right.
But life isn't easy. You don't always get the right opportunity, and eventually, Mr. Cashin and I sat down and talked about a lot of issues, and I spoke to an old manager of mine who was in the American League named Ralph Houck, and I talked about where I might fit in the American League if I went back, because I had permission from baseball to do that. And the truth is, where I would have fit in, I would have had to change my life drastically again, and I made what I think was the right decision. I stayed here, and I did everything I could to help the Mets be as good as they could be. They had a lot of talent coming up, obviously. And even in '86, when I was Frank's assistant, I felt a big part of what they did was, you know, I had a lot of enjoyment, a lot of exhilaration over the kind of season they had.